Hey guys, welcome back to Table Torque. Vitali can defeat almost every inside puller, but could he really beat the Big Daddy Jerry Cataret? Top rolling a flop presser is actually a stupid decision, but if you're confident enough in your strength, it might not feel like a problem. The truth is, it's still a problem. Why? Because a super match is not only about strength, it's about efficiency and endurance. In arm wrestling, the brachioradialis and biceps often gas out quickly because they're constantly held under intense isometric tension during a match. These muscles aren't naturally built for long static contractions, so when they're forced to hold against heavy resistance, blood flow gets restricted, oxygen drops, and lactic acid builds up rapidly, causing fatigue. That's why you need crazy strong back pressure to run through a flop presser. This is where Hermes stands out. He has the strongest back pressure in the world. He could have used that back pressure to top roll Jerry, but instead he gripped low and dragged to the side. Flop pressers usually have a sweet spot. When their wrist is taken, they can make the other person hang and stall the match. But as soon as you load pressure onto their wrist, closer to their bicep, the whole load increases. That's what Hermes and Levin do. They grip low, keep their pinky in direct contact with Jerry's wrist, and while supinating, they dump the pressure straight onto his bicep. Dave has also done this in the past. The blueprint is already there, yet people still struggle to execute it. Why? Even if you have strong back pressure. In a super match, you need to last longer. A flop presser attacks directly at your elbow angle in brachioradialis, forcing you to take even more load than against a top roller. That area is more vulnerable to fatigue, so conserving energy is key. This is the mistake Vitali made. He top-rolled Camille, and it worked at first, but eventually his arm gassed out. He got lucky in the fourth round, winning on fouls. After that, Vitali had nothing left in his arm. If not for those fouls, Camille might have won the match 4-3. Still, Vitali had the strength to roll Camille to the side, something Devon lacks. But in the end, it was a very bad idea. To be honest, Vitali just got lucky that day. Vitali has crazy side pressure for a top roller, and his back pressure is insanely strong. Now let's look at Todd Hutchings versus Jerry. In round one, Jerry easily rolled him. His connection was so strong that Todd couldn't go sideways. He just ended up pinning Jerry on the elbow pad in the second round. Todd's downward pressure wasn't enough to pull Jerry to the pin pad, and this is the exact problem Vitali's going to face. If he tries to top roll and Jerry puts on the brakes, the elbow pad becomes a huge factor. In East versus West, the pin pads are shorter than WAL pads. The pad stops before the edge of the table, so the freedom of movement you get in WAL is restricted in EVW. That's going to trouble Vitali even more because of his long forearm. Jerry could take advantage of this by dragging him forward, forcing Vitali into fouls. Kardashev got rolled like nothing. Honestly, I expected that to happen. It's easy to get Kardashev inside. Vitali isn't the same. Jerry doesn't always go straight to the flop press. He often starts with the shoulder roll, and if his wrist gets taken, it transitions into a flop press. Now we know Hermes beat Jerry 3-0, but what if Hermes fought Jerry in a best-of-7 format using his top roll? I'd actually bet that Jerry would beat him if Jerry came in the same shape he was when he fought Kardashev. Why? Because Jerry can drag the match into ugly positions. He has the ability to hold and pull from spots where most arm wrestlers simply can't last. Even holding a random strong bodybuilder in that position is hard. Yet Jerry holds massive, elite-level arm wrestlers there. And even though Jerry's pronation isn't world-class, he still incorporates enough pronation into his press to maintain control. You don't need a high-level pronation to flop press. You just need enough to resist full wrist flexion or to force your opponent into a flat wrist position, like Irakli managed to do against John. I already explained in Michael versus Hermes' match breakdown how important pronation is in a flop press. Even a moderate level of it can enhance the entire pressing action. Coming to Vitali, we've already seen him facing problems against flop pressers. He struggled against Dave Chaffee. Now that's not something to be ashamed of. Dave is known for his insane side pressure and has gone against absolute monsters in the past. Devon stopping Dave in a hook completely changed the way I see Devon. His trajectory just went sky high. There was even a round in that match where Devon tried to flop press Dave right from the go. and Dave just side-pressured him straight to the side. But it's Devon. He can regain the hand in literally any position. Plus, don't forget, he also 6-0'd Kardashian in the past. So what I'm saying is, I've seen people mocking Vitali because he got pressed by Dave. Their first match was an absolute bloodbath. But let's not take that one. For reference, let's look at the recent one, where Vitali beat Dave 4-2. Still, Dave pinned him 2 times by flop press. Vitali explained that he already knew he'd won the match, so he wasn't serious in the later rounds and barely tried. Anyway, taking it strictly from a match analysis point of view, Dave flop pressed Vitali. Jerry is primarily an inside puller, but he can incorporate vectors usually used in outside techniques. His hand and wrist isn't strong enough to maintain flexion against opponents. It's similar to Todd Hutchings. Both of them have arm power that doesn't quite match their wrist strength. For Todd, he still has a bit more resistance in the wrist. But for Jerry, when he loses the wrist, he doesn't even try to resist the extension. He just allows the opponent to pronate, sometimes even into an overpronated position. And that actually benefits Jerry, because in that spot, the brachioradialis and bicep are maximally activated, and they fatigue quickly. Both Todd and Jerry also have decent pronation control in that position, which makes them extra dangerous. Vitali is technically good against hook pullers, so I don't see Jerry shoulder rolling him straight away. But the problem is speed. Jerry can be surprisingly fast. Sometimes he lags a bit, but if he gets his shoulder set at the start, even if Vitali tries that quick high hook roll, Jerry could stop him just above the pad. Then after reloading for another surge, Jerry would already be in a better position. That's one big possibility. If the match gets stopped, Vitali's in trouble. Jerry's arm is strong enough to hold guys like Gennady and Georgi in that spot, so he can definitely hold Vitali too. Also, when you're top rolling, you usually go max outside, climbing high on the index finger. But against Jerry, that'll only get you into trouble. You need to connect more with your supination, rolling sideways on his wrist, never just hang on his hand. The big question is, will Vitali top roll, or will he try the drag hook like Devon or Hermes? Personally, I don't think he can successfully pull the drag hook against Jerry. His long arm makes it even harder. Even if he had a lot of down pressure, he still can't use it effectively. Jerry will just make him hang on that bicep all day. Honestly, I'm super excited for this match. Everything seems stacked against Vitali, but if he uses his speed more effectively and efficiently, he can still defeat Jerry. For me, this is a 60-40 match in Jerry's favor. Could be right, could be wrong. We're just making predictions based on past comparisons. So don't come at me later saying, "Oh, bro, your prediction was wrong." Chill. That's just my take. I think Jerry's going to beat Vitali. That's all for today. Like and subscribe to the channel. See you later.
Elbows on the table. Winner!